Welcome back to the Lebanon podcast. I'm your host, Joe LePage. In this episode, we chat with Nolan Hudson from 1205 Distillery. Hear about the exciting things taking place inside their West Washington location and why creating a family-friendly venue is such a big part of this project. Exciting food and entertainment options included. Episode 98 of the Lebanon podcast starts now.
Welcome to the Lebanon podcast, highlighting all the great things happening in Lebanon, Indiana. Have an idea for an episode? Send an email to lebanon@lebanon.in.gov.
Hey everybody, we're on the podcast this time around for episode number 98, and we've got Nolan Hudson with 1205 Distillery. A lot of buzz about 1205, and looking for kind of a job description, Nolan. It's kind of jack of all trades, and you said it changes every 5 minutes or so?
Yeah. I mean, I started the company with my family and my distiller, Brad, who's the business partner. But then now, this week's is graphic design. Next week it could be marketing. Next week it could be sales. It changes all every day.
Well, we are thankful no matter what your title is that you're here on the podcast. Appreciate you stopping by and coming into the office. Man, so much buzz around 1205. First off, can you kind of give us kind of an update of the progress of what's going on at 126 West Washington downtown?
Absolutely, yeah. I'll give you as much as I can because we're still trying to figure that out as well. We have the building there. Construction keeps getting pushed back for various reasons, but we're making progress. You should start seeing the garage doors going in the next few weeks here. So yeah, we'll have the garage doors in, then we can really start moving in our equipment, moving in a lot of stuff that's been holding us back because we don't have the big enough doors to get everything in. We're hoping for a May, June opening, but we're also hoping for a last October opening. So it's very fluid right now. I would pretty safely say summer of this year we should be ready to go.
And that's just kind of the way it goes with construction. There's so much demand. Yep. There's so many things happening, of course, not just in Lebanon, but all around really the country when it comes to growing and changing and materials and all those things.
Exactly, yeah, and especially right now when we've had to submit 3 different budgets and they've changed so much because supply chain costs, everything is ridiculous right now. So it's a constantly changing budget, and we have to figure out where we can take some stuff away, where we need to add on. So it's just a constant game of Tetris right now, it seems. But we're making progress. It's finally starting to come together, whereas the last few months it's been pretty scary, but we're finally making some progress.
And I'm getting the Tetris visual. Yeah. There we go. Now, you talked about the garage doors a little bit, and for folks that you may not have read or heard about in different public meetings and things, that building is going to look and feel and just take on a whole new flavor, pun intended. A tasting room, production site there, just in downtown. What does that all entail? There's going to be a huge hole in the floor?
Yeah, so our plan, and that's one of the next steps that has to happen, is cutting of the floor. The back left corner of there is going to be about 1,500 square feet, and it's going to be completely cut out, and our distilling equipment's going to kind of come through the floor a little bit. So you'll be able to watch us distill, mash, watch all of our production. We'll have a railing over it, obviously. But yeah, we want this facility to be much more production forward as well as cocktail forward, have a little music stage as well and some food. But we want it to be almost a destination where you can come see us distill. We'll give tours, we'll give cocktail classes, spirit tasting lessons, try to get the full immersion of an actual distillery, whereas our other locations are much more cocktail focused. We'll be very cocktail focused here in Lebanon, but we want to be production forward, and then you come and stay for a couple cocktails. And
the other locations that many of us enjoy, right on 32 is my go-to in Westfield. That's more cocktail focused. This is kind of more or less an all-in-one. Would you say you kind of see start to finish how it's made type thing?
Yeah, Westfield kind of took on its own identity pretty quickly. It turned into cocktails and a music venue, which is not what we had in mind at all. But the city just ran with it, and that's what we did.
Demand kind of
does
that,
exactly.
Right?
Lebanon should be more similar to our downtown Indianapolis location where we have our still right now. We'll be distilling at both locations. This new still will be much larger. We'll do about 700% more than we're doing right now. And we kind of need that due to all of the cocktails we're selling in-house and all the bottle sales we're doing out. We're reached our capacity pretty much. So with this, we're going to be able to get our whiskey a lot older, age it a lot longer, and get some real quality spirits out there.
And if you kind of educate us, and we're talking with Nolan Hudson, he's a man of many hats, man of many talents for 1205 Distillery. If you can kind of talk to us about that whole process, it's not one of those things that's done really quickly. It takes some time to age it and season it and do all those things that make it great.
Yeah, exactly. So when you start with distillation, you're really starting by making a beer. We make what's called a distiller's beer. So we do almost everything breweries do, as far as mashing the grain, fermenting that. The difference is we don't stop after fermentation and after filtering, whereas they will. So we take pretty much a beer and we put it in our still and we distill that down into whatever we're making: vodka, gin, whiskey. So essentially you're taking your beer and you're heating it up to the point where the boiling point of water is 212 degrees. Boiling point of alcohol it's like 197. I can't remember right off the top of my head. But if you get it in between that range, like right at 200 degrees, the water should stay behind and the alcohol should boil off. So you're just separating alcohol from water in distillation. And we do that with beer. You do that if you take a brandy, you're pretty much distilling wine. There's many different things you can do. But we like to partner with local breweries, and we take their beer and we distill that down into a whiskey. And I know that Lebanon has Clues Brews, which is phenomenal. We love their beer. We love their food. So I'm hoping that we can get something working with them, or we can maybe distill some of their beer. We've done it with quite a few. But yeah, distilling is, I guess, one step past brewing. But I would say brewing is a lot harder than distilling because you have to be way more sanitary. Everything's a much finer science. Distilling, we just kind of take that crude beer product and distill it down.
Gotcha. And you may have seen the Four Fingers, the series that they had, and I'm looking right on the website here, that commemorates the literal blood, sweat, tears. Maybe not in the actual, no, but what it takes to make that sort of thing. And also looking on the website, Nolan, it talks about the love for Indiana products and going local. You guys are doing that as you're getting ready to ramp things up in the Lebanon location too, right?
Yeah, exactly. We are very big on trying to keep everything as local as possible. When you distill, you use a lot of grain, you use a lot of corn. Corn's our most heavily used product. We live in Indiana. Why would we get corn from anywhere else than Indiana? Specifically Lebanon. We get all of our grain from Sugar Creek Malt here in Lebanon. Caleb over there is fantastic. He does a great job. He can custom smoke barley for you, do everything you need. And he's grown his business very well because he is, it's a great business, great guy, and great product. So we try to keep everything as local as possible. Even our peated malt, which is mostly found in the UK, we found a supplier in Indiana for that, and we send it down to Sugar Creek, and they smoke the barley for us. So we're very big on local, very big on Indiana. We're trying to keep as much money as we can inside this state and inside this city.
And the Mishalkis are awesome, working with the Sugar Creek folks. Now, peated bourbon, wheat, whiskey, rye whiskey, and bourbon whiskey, and those of us who love the rhubarb is fantastic. And you brought in a coffee liqueur as well. Yep. How have you seen 1205 just continue to evolve and grow and things? One of the reasons why, and kind of stalking before we kind of sat down, was the need. You guys are at capacity, as you said, Nolan. Still looks like you guys are just going crazy with growth and with popularity.
Yeah, we kind of did exactly the opposite of what we said we were going to do. When we'd go to events and we'd see all these distilleries that had 9, 10 different products up, we're like, man, that sucks. We have 3 and 4. Like, it's perfect. We can talk to everyone.
That's not going to be us.
Yeah,
right?
No, we would never do that. And then I just talked to our distiller yesterday, and I think we have our 13th product coming out here in the next couple of weeks. So we did the opposite of what we wanted to do, but it's just fun creating new things. You have, your staples, your vodka, gin, your whiskeys, but then we have the series I was telling you about, the Copper and Hops, where we distill it from local beer. And then the rhubarb came out, which, we're from the Midwest. It's a nostalgic flavor. We had to do that. Then we made the coffee liqueur one time for St. Patrick's Day like 4 years ago, and everyone kept asking for it. So that's a new one. Now we have bottled cocktails coming out. So we kind of just take what people ask us to do, and we have a very hard time saying no. If someone's like, hey, you should do this, we're like, all right, fine. And it just keeps coming up with more and more products. So at some point, we need to stop, but I don't see that happening anytime soon because we have more and more coming out.
And at the same time, isn't that great, though, that people will say, hey, do this, do more of this, and the fact that you guys seem versatile enough that, you can do that. A coffee liqueur, bring it on. Rhubarb pie, delicious here in our state. Yeah, let's give it a shot, see how it works here. Yeah,
we're really lucky. We have my business partner and our distiller, Brad Culver. He is very, very good at what he does. The dude's a genius when it comes to distilling. when it comes to putting flavor profiles together. He's done it for a very long time. Started out in Colorado. We stole him and brought him back home. So he's very talented. We give him any flavor profile, and he can come up with it pretty much immediately, and it's going to taste really, really good.
That's fantastic. Again, we're talking with Nolan Hudson, a jack of all trades, part owner of 1205 Distillery, here on our Love in Lebanon podcast. Now, Fletcher Place, Westfield, you guys have continued to grow. Why was Lebanon in the expansion plan, and when did that kind of pique your interest of, let's give this community on the northwest side of Indy a chance?
Yeah, it started a few years ago. We knew we needed another location. We knew we needed to expand production. We just didn't know where. We looked at a few different cities right around the Westfield area, even some down south of Indy, but we know we wanted to stay up on the north side. And we talked with some other cities. I met with Mayor Gentry probably 2 years ago. And I was just like, hey, I don't know if this is anything you guys are looking forward to or looking like a need. But I said, we have a distillery that we're looking to expand. We might want to look up into Lebanon. And he's like, actually, I was just at your Westfield spot a couple weeks ago. And I told my wife, I was like, we need this here. So that was a good point. That was a good meeting point for us. And then the more I talked to him, the more I got his feel for the city and how he wanted the growth, especially of that downtown square. It just felt like a perfect fit. We like to find cities that we believe are going to grow pretty quickly. When we opened up Westfield, there really wasn't too much around us. Now Westfield is booming, and it's growing quickly. And we bought the building in Lebanon. Right after we bought the building in Lebanon, we found out about, I know there's that new sports complex going in. Eli Lilly. Eli Lilly's going to open up. So we feel like we got really lucky with that timing on that, because who knows how much the price of the building would have shot up after that. But we just see the growth, the potential of the growth of Lebanon, and it's huge. It's bigger than we think it could be, bigger than Westfield. It's going to be. We're really excited for what Lebanon has in its future. Yeah,
it's truly an exciting time, and we're thrilled that 1205 is wanting to be a part of that, and looking forward to kind of what is being brought as a result of 1205 coming, because it's not just your building, but kind of that strength in the area of the downtown square, and kind of creating, like you said, the destination of so many things going on, great things happening in downtown. If we can kind of talk about from garage door additions and other kind of positives that are coming with 1205 Distillery, what are you hoping to kind of create from a warm and fuzzy standpoint of people that are going to come in through your doors? Because it's going to be one of those things, like you said, a destination that people are going to want to stay and then invest time in the community as well.
Yeah, exactly. And this spot's going to be a little different than our other spots, because we do want it to be a destination. We want it to be family friendly. We want everyone to be able to come in. We don't want it to be that's a bar, let's just everyone come here and get some drinks and leave.
That's the misconception that geez, Lebanon just going all alcohol all the time. But I mean, Patrick's done a great job of keeping Clues Brews family friendly. Yep. There's the Chop House that is also family friendly. And you guys are wanting to do the same thing of bring the kiddos in and let them enjoy their time as well.
Exactly. We want it to be, like I said, family friendly is very important. We need you to be able to come and bring your kids. We don't want anyone to ever walk in and feel like we just opened up a big bar and everyone's just there to get drunk and have a great time. And we're going to have a little area for the kids to be in. It'll be like probably a little arcade area. This is all very fluid. It changes.
Sure.
This is what we talked about a couple of weeks ago. But we want it to have that kind of that restaurant vibe, that small town bar vibe, all mixed in together. And then the food we're bringing, we haven't signed the contract with the guy yet, so I'm not going to say the name, but we're working with a taco company.
That could go over well.
Yeah, phenomenal tacos. He's actually training with the Michelin star chef, so we'll have some pretty good food. But yeah, we just want it to be just a very friendly vibe in there. If you have been to any of our spots, we are huge on customer service. That is the one thing I don't ever let slide. You can make a bad drink or two, that's fine. But if I ever hear you being rude to a customer, if we get a review about someone being rude, that doesn't fly with us. We're very, very big on customer service. So we want everyone to come in and feel like a family. I mean, we're not from Lebanon, so we know we kind of have an uphill battle with that, but we want to be a part of that Lebanon family. Actually, our distiller is probably going to be moving up to Lebanon, so we're hoping that we can get in the Lebanon family here pretty quickly and just show that we're here to help grow the city.
Love it or hate it, the way it is in Lebanon is you get a very short window of, if it goes well right off the bat. And I know you guys feel that from your other locations as well. And I love to hear that the customer service is paramount, because that's going to go over huge here. It seems like you said that you're don't have Lebanon ties per se, but sounds like you're right on the heartbeat of our community. So that's perfect.
Yep, exactly.
Nolan, thanks so much for being on the podcast.
Of course.
Really appreciate it. And we just look forward to it. And again, sometime in 2023, we know things ebb and flow with construction and different things.
Hope in summer. I want to be open by the name's losing me right now, but we have that beer fest in Lebanon.
Savor Lebanon's coming up. Yeah.
Savor Lebanon. We've done that every year. I want to be open by then. That's our goal. It's a lofty goal, but we'll see. At the very least, we'll be able to have like a Dusty Boots tour for the people that are there. But I don't know if we'll be able to serve any drinks afterwards, but we'll at least be able to let everyone in and kind of see what we've been doing at that time.
The Dusty Boots tour. I love that. They may have to use that, repurpose that. And hey, thanks for bringing in the coffee liqueur.
Absolutely.
This is going to have to give it a taste, and maybe asked to share it within the office here. We'll see what happens. Again, Nolan, thanks for being here on the podcast. Great episodes are coming your way, touting the great things happening in Lebanon, Indiana. Take care.